All right, guys. Well, welcome to the Team Arise call that I'm hosting for Rose. Unfortunately, she can't be here, so we're using my Zoom link. And like I said, I don't have the updated version. So, Haley, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you forever.
Hi. Yes,
Hi.
mom life.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't really have too many announcements. I think with summer coming up, there's always a lot. I feel like Morning Meltdown, that'll be the early access in July. This month, the $20 off the challenge packs, which is really awesome. Yeah, I don't know. That's about kind of the announcements that I had. Short and sweet, but we'll dive into it and we'll get started here. And I'll kind of share like a little bit of my story and a little bit of my background, but I didn't do any slides because I hate doing slides just because it reminds me too much of being in the corporate world and just having to do slides for a presentation. So I'm not a big slide girl. So like I said, I hope you brought a notebook and or paper and a pen or pencil. So I entitled this team call tonight, A Small Town Girl, Big Dreams, because that's truly kind of what my story is. So I have quite a few of my girls on the call tonight, but for those of you who don't know, I have been a coach for over 4 years now. I am from North Dakota, a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere. And I also have a background in architectural drafting and estimating and design. And I have been coaching 2 out of the 4 years full-time from home. I was able to quit my job. I was actually commuting 55 miles one way to get to work. And I am a farm wife and ranch wife. My husband farms and ranches. And it was always a dream of mine to be able to be at home because of my long commute. And even though I was like 25 years old, I was just burnt out of the corporate world, and I was burnt out of driving, and I was just burnt out. And I was actually diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis when I was 23, and that led me to Beachbody. I literally Googled what is Beachbody when I didn't have a clue of what it is. I didn't have a clue of the opportunity, the coaching opportunity, the fitness opportunity, all because I saw another girl doing PiYo on Facebook, and I wanted to know more about what it was. And so I Googled it. I ended up signing up randomly. So this is a cue to always reach out to your free leads and pester them like Rose did with me. She got me in one of her accountability groups, and eventually I started a blog about my fitness journey and life on the farm and my rheumatoid arthritis. It was just kind of a platform for everything. And she wanted me to coach. And I guess I was kind of a coach before I knew it myself. And that is truly the beauty in what we do. I truly believe that we as coaches can see and visualize the path and vision for that person before they can themselves. And so maybe you've even messaged people before and you're like, you'd make a great coach. That's because you can see them doing this, but they can't yet. And we have to paint that picture for them. So that is kind of my story. We're expecting our first baby in November. So I get to be a stay-at-home mommy, and we're super excited for that. And yeah, it's just been a huge blessing in disguise that I never ever thought. I just did a post tonight on Instagram and Facebook that I never ever thought, like 3 or 4 years ago or 5 years ago, that if you would have told me that I'd be doing this full time, I would have never believed you. And so I'm able to travel when I want. I don't have to ask for time off. It's truly such a huge blessing. So a little bit more with my story as well is that, like I said, I'm from a really tiny town. We live nearby Gackle, North Dakota. And there's only like 2 girls on this call that are also from North Dakota that probably know where Gackle is. And so it's population probably 300 on a good day if you count all of the stray cats and the mice in the town. We have a Tasty Freeze, and that's not even opening this year. So And a Tasty Freeze is kind of like a little dairy treat, like it opens during the summer. And so I'm also an only child, and a lot of our local and surrounding area are elderly people, with the exception of Vanessa. Vanessa lives about 50 miles from me. So, but yeah, it is crazy that I just had every excuse in the book to do this business, and that was one of them, because I said, there's mostly elderly, like, who am I going to sell insanity to? Like, nobody's going to want to do workouts. Like, everybody's old here, you know, they have aches and pains and, you know, hip problems. So, it's just going to be a battle. And plus, like I said, I'm an only child. So to this day, my parents, my in-laws, nobody in my family, with the exception of my sister-in-law, buys Shakeology from me or has done any Beachbody product from me. And so I am truly proof that you can build a business on zero warm market whatsoever. And with the exception of Vanessa and like maybe like a handful, literally a handful, like 5 other people maybe, I have 0 local people on my team or in my challenge group. They're all from out of state or within at least 100 miles away. Tia is still in North Dakota, but she is about 100 miles away from me. Kayla, who's also on tonight, is from Montana. I have girls from all across the US and Canada, but none that are local. And it's, like I said, it's totally true that you can dive into this business and build a big business and build a business according to what you want and your dreams and your goals with zero warm market. And what I mean by warm market, it's like your friends and your family, the people that you typically would ask, that like the memory jogger tells you to go and ask, like your aunts and your uncles and your cousins. And I didn't have that. The first thing, so I have several different points. So I have like 6 main points and then 2 bonus points for you tonight. So the first point that I had to make is to just dive in. So don't hesitate. I know for the longest time I hesitated and I didn't want to dive into my like cold market because I was scared. And you can't let those fears hold you back, because truly they're just going to hold you back. And you just have to do it. It's kind of like, what I can best describe it as, it's kind of like, you know, how you're getting into a pool and it's cold, the water is cold, and you're like, oh, you dip your toe in, and it's like, oh, it's cold. And you have to just dive in, right? You can't, there's no going around it. Like if you just put your big toe in, you put your whole foot in, like it just prolongs the process of being cold. You just have to dive off the diving board and dive into this cold lake or cold pool. And that's the same thing with diving into your cold market. You just have to do it. And some of the ways that I did it is by adding new friends continually. So back in the day, 4.5 years ago, when I first started my business, Facebook was the big thing. And now it's Instagram. Instagram is like the hot new cousin of Facebook, like I always say. And on Facebook, I was always adding new people. Like I was going into my friends of friends and their friends and their friends and adding new people that way. I was also finding people through hashtags on Instagram later on. Fast forward to 2018 when Instagram became popular. And I was also looking at, now I do this more really consistently, as I look at boutiques or stores or like bloggers that I can also relate to, and then find people that are also in my niche, or also people in your target market to connect with. And so I feel like that's a huge step in finding your niche and finding your people and diving into your cold market. Because like I said, I had zero cold market or zero warm market. Okay, so the second point is ask for referrals. So no matter if it's your challengers or if it's people that tell you no all the time, or coworkers, or whoever it is, ask for referrals. So that way you are able to build a business and you're able to build a community off of people that know and trust you. So maybe it's your coworkers, or maybe it's people that are already like maybe your aunts and uncles and your cousins, but maybe they don't want to buy Shakeology from you, or even your parents. At places like, obviously my parents farm, so it's harder for them to refer me to somebody because they don't work with a lot of people. So if your mom works at, a financial institute or whatever your mom does, and maybe there's people that are looking to work on health and fitness goals, ask for referrals. Tell your mom, give your mom some business cards. There's definitely no shame in that. And a good tip is I always carry business cards with me wherever I go. I just actually went to a new salon, and I got like a facial, and she had gave me her business card, and I was like, well, here you go, here's my business card. So it is a really good thing to be able to have like little business cards that you can give people, and it just makes you seem legit. So asking for those referrals, like I said, whether it's from people that tell you no, and a good kind of interjectory to, people that say no is like, well, just say thanks so much, for letting me know. But, say I am looking for ladies who, want to get in shape, or maybe ladies who want to work this business with me. Is there anybody that that, you could see doing this, or would enjoy or benefit from doing this? So that's something also to ask. Okay, so number 3, I have power in the follow-up. So this one is like a no duh, right? You hear the follow-up all the time. Follow-up, 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 follow-up. And honestly, it is so true. There is truly power in following up with people. And a lot of people get busy. Like, life is always crazy. Obviously, we hear no so much because of the number one thing, the number one excuse from people is because I'm too busy. Right? Or number 2 is I can't afford it. But my number 1 is I'm too busy. And so there is truly a power in the follow-up, because people do get busy and they maybe check your message and they see it, but they forget to respond. Maybe they were nursing a baby in the middle of the night and they saw that and they didn't respond. And so there is truly power in following up with people, and just having like that connection time with following up, and not just being like, hey, did you check out those videos yet? No, like ask them how they're doing, how their week's going. Maybe connect with them. Maybe they just had a baby. Ask them how their motherhood journey is going. Whatever you got to do, be their best friend. I actually listened to a podcast by Melanie Mitchell not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, and she was saying that in this business, we have to be a professional best friend maker. And that is so true. If we're not taking the time to make those connections and, follow up with people and truly care, this business isn't going to work. If we rush it, if we, seem desperate, all of that kind of comes off in the wrong way. So definitely power in the follow-up, which kind of leads up to my number 4 point is be the girl next door. And what I mean by that is here in the Midwest, we always kind of have this saying, especially in North Dakota, we always say North Dakota nice, right? So North Dakotans are known to go out of their way and help people. Maybe somebody has a flat tire, or maybe somebody does this. And sometimes I think we do get taken advantage of because we are too naive, probably, and we're too nice sometimes. And so be the girl next door, be that best friend to somebody that maybe needs it, or maybe needs some encouragement. Whether that's congratulating people after they've had a baby, or, sending them a private message. I am a true believer in birthday messages. I send people birthday messages every single day, and I typically look the day ahead to see whose birthday is coming up. So that way I can say, hey girl, hey Sarah, I saw your birthday's coming up. I wanted to wish you a happy birthday before everyone else does. Are you doing anything fun? Are you doing anything special? Just something short and sweet, just to let people know that you're thinking of them. And it truly means the world to people. I've had people tell me, like, I feel like you're the only person that cares about me on my birthday because you only ask what I'm doing. And other people just say happy birthday. So there is truly power in being the girl next door. and the follow-up. And those two are kind of together, like I said, just because they kind of go hand in hand. And also, like I said, just be that best friend, take the time to make those connections instead of like diving into that invite. And that's another thing, like invite the way you want to be invited. If you're good at cold invites, do it. I feel like when you are the girl next door and you are that real person, like I always tell my followers, is what you see is what you get. If I don't have makeup on that day, that's what you get. And be that girl. And I feel like I can do cold invites because I am the girl next door, and that works for me. But if you feel like you can't be that person or you can't be that transparent, like maybe, I was listening to actually a podcast today by Lindsay Matway, and she said like every day I have to do my makeup. And I was like, that is a really good routine or practice, just something to like make yourself feel better. And I was like, that's really awesome. But like, I feel like I just couldn't get in the habit of doing that every day. And plus I'm comfortable enough with just being myself on social media. And so there are some people that just have to be that way. And so I'm not saying that you're not the girl next door, but, just be you, be authentic, be genuine, be yourself. And that will let you and kind of open the door for cold invites. But if you're a person that you have to like warm up to somebody and you have to talk to them 5 times before you invite them, and that's what's working for you, then do that. I'm not telling you to, switch it up or do anything, but sometimes it is good to switch things up. But definitely be the girl next door, be the girl, be that best friend. If even just looking on your page, like, would I want to follow myself, or would you want to follow you? And just looking at it, like, would you trust yourself? That's a great question. Like looking at your social media page, would you trust yourself to work on health and fitness goals with yourself, or, be a part of your team? And that's a great question too. And number 5 is post according to what your audience likes. And sometimes this is hard to hear, but it's sometimes not all about you. And probably 99% of the time, it's not all about you. It's about what your followers want to see. And sometimes by even asking them, like, doing a poll, Instagram is really great right now. So that way you're able to do a poll and you can be like, hey, do you want to see more? Like for me, obviously, it would be like, do you prefer more farm stuff or more fitness stuff? You know what I mean? And post accordingly to what they're going to give you. Or even just do that little, you can do like a little text box, thingy on the Instagram stories and just say, hey, I'm just curious, like, what would you like to see more of on my page? And let them respond to you. And that reminds me, because I haven't done that in a while. I need to sometimes do this too, so I'll kind of reach into the choir here. But no, just be posting according to your audience. I have some of the best engagement when I post about farm things or when I post about baby things. And so really, life changes. Obviously, a year ago, I wasn't pregnant, so I couldn't post about baby things. And even Haley can attest to this, like being a new mom, she's probably had a lot of new mom connections and things like that from being pregnant and, having a newborn baby to now almost, he's like 5-ish months, I think. So, just going through all of that. And so obviously life changes. And so, make sure that you are evolving and changing with your life, but also know that your audience and your followers want to hear what you have to say, but they also want to relate it back to their lives too. So say you are, say you have a lot of, let's just take myself, for example. Let's just say I have a lot of people that farm on my account and are farmers and ranchers. And so if I would start posting about city life, they probably wouldn't like it. I'd probably get a lot of unfollowers because I'm not relating to their background and I'm not relating to their story and I'm not relating to who they are. And so, just know that sometimes if you get unfollowed, like that's just a common thing, or unfriended, but, kind of do your research and know what your audience likes. A lot of my audience also likes when I post like faith posts or about my faith or fashion. A lot of my audience is into fashion and like makeup and tutorials and stuff. So really know what your audience likes and engage with that. Okay, number 6, the last one, is changing your mindset to abundance instead of lack. And so this was a really hard one for me. I know I still to this day sometimes have problems with this, but I remember early on in my coaching days, I would talk a lot to Lisa Hanson, and she was kind of a big mentor to me, and she still to this day means a lot to me. And she would always tell me, like, you need to switch your mindset. You need to switch your mindset. And I remember, like, so backstory on me. I've been in Success Club for, I think it's like 42 months straight of Success Club. And I remember thinking, because I wasn't in the beginning, I wasn't hitting Success Club consistently, which is still super important. Yeah, volume is important, but just depends on how you want to grow your business. But anyway, I would literally help 3 people a month, and then I would be done because I didn't want to run out of people. And I didn't want to run out of, helping people. And Lisa was like, there's like 7 billion people in the world. Like, are you going to run out of people? Like, are you really, really for sure, like, thinking this? And I was like, well, yeah, but I just feel like I'm just going to run out. Like, there's not going to be enough people next month. And so I always said, like, I wanted to save some for the next month. And that's not the way to think. When you have somebody that wants to sign them up now, even if it is the 31st of the month or the 30th. Don't wait. And changing your mindset, even in the morning, like if you have some quiet time to journal or pray, have some time to think in abundance and think like hitting Success Club is easy for me, or, coaches who want to work this business come into my life abundantly. Helping people is easy for me, and have that abundance mindset, because truly, our business, that's the beauty of it, is it's not just about challenge packs. And that's what I'm trying to kind of relay to my team too, is my own team, is that we can truly help people and get them excited about things without having them start on a challenge pack. It can just be as simple as Energize. If Energize makes you happy and excited, sell more Energize, and so just changing that mindset instead of lack and being like, oh, I guess I need to save some people for next month because I'm going to run out. You have to say, no, like, people are attracted to me. Masses of people are attracted to me. And you can't be afraid of like holding back, because I always say, if you don't invite someone else will. And that has happened to me many times. When I've been afraid to invite to the coaching opportunity, I've actually missed several coaches that joined Team Beachbody in our coaching that I could have invited early on as a coach, but I didn't because I was scared. And I was scared of that mindset of having a lack mindset versus abundance. And then, okay, last 2, I have 2 bonus ones. So the first bonus is to be consistently consistent. And what I mean by this is still just showing up every single day, no matter if you feel like crap or not. And I say that because in my last job that I was at, I was there for 15 months, and it was 15 months too long because my boss was a butthole to me, and literally. And I was put down every single day. I would cry every single day that I had to go to work, and I was severely depressed at that point in my life. Beachbody was kind of the thread that I was hanging onto, and trust me, it was a very small, tiny, microscopic thread. There was many times when I thought I should just have an accident in the morning, and hopefully something would happen that I wouldn't have to go to work anymore. And it was just a very, very sad thing. And like I said, I didn't see that, on my posts, or you weren't able to catch that on my post because I wasn't really able to talk about it because that was my job. But Beachbody and coaching was the thing that I held on to during those times, and kind of what got me through, just because I needed something positive and something, that energized me and gave me a purpose, because I didn't feel that I had that when I was at work. And so there was times when I didn't want to show up, when I was like, I don't feel like showing up because I'm depressed and I feel like just crying because I don't want to be here anymore. But I still showed up. And that's super important to remember, no matter how busy you are. And there was a point in time, even at a different job, that I was working 14-hour days on an engineering site, that I would be on projects, and I didn't have Wi-Fi or service sometimes either, but I still made it work. There were nights when I skipped watching The Bachelor because I had to be on a team call, or I had to get work done. I had to do my invites, or I had to do my connections. And just being consistently consistent in this business and being yourself is the secret sauce. There is no secret to this business, but those two things, being consistently consistent and being yourself, is truly your keys to success in this business. The other bonus is don't be a time suck, or don't get sucked into time. And what I mean by that is there are so many distractions, you guys, so many. No matter if it's with our farm schedule just here, the last couple of weeks have been crazy. We got done with our planting season, where we're planting and going hard and heavy, and with trying to get our crop in the ground. And there was many times when I would have to just on the whim help take somebody out to the field or help get parts. And I didn't know when that was going to be. And so I have to be very flexible with my schedule. But even just knowing that I'm going to be needed that day, or possibly going to be needed, motivates me to get my work done early, so that way you don't have to worry about it throughout the day. And yes, I'm at home full time, so I have a little bit more of a flexible schedule. But even when I was working full time, I would work kind of like they always say, power pockets, like getting things done in the morning. Like I would get up at 4:30 in the morning. Yes, it's awful. It comes really early, but it's totally worth it to be able to have that schedule and be able to get things done. Don't get sucked into playing games on your phone on an app, or don't get sucked into even watching other people's Insta stories is such a time suck. And I'm sorry, I have quite a few of my own team on here tonight. I don't want you to watch my stories. You don't have to watch my stories. You're not going to make me feel bad. Okay? I want you to be connecting and watching other people's stories that you don't know. And honestly, if I am your coach and you see me watching your stories, it should be a rare occasion, and you should be like, oh, that's awesome. She watched my stories today, or whatever, or I connected with you via your stories, because I'm not always going to watch your stories. I just trust and believe in you that much that I know that you know what it takes to do the things that it takes to be successful. And so just know that if you are, if you know what Lindsay Matway or Danielle Natoni is doing tomorrow at 5:00, you are way too invested in their life. You need to get a grip. So just know that, don't be that time suck, and don't let time suck you in either, because it is super easy to be able to be like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Actually, I have clothes in the dryer right now, and I have clothes in the washing machine, and they've been sitting there for a couple of hours, but that's okay. If you have to do your dishes, sometimes I tell Taylor, hey, I've had a really busy morning. I am not going to be able to do the dishwasher or unload the dishwasher or whatever, and he is very considerate about that. Obviously, there's things that can't go undone. If Haley, she's got a little baby, if he needs a diaper change, she's got to go do that. But she still, I'm sure, works around that. you know, and you know, there's some things that, like laundry isn't going to be a crying baby, and it's not going to, you know, yell at you if you don't put it away instantly. And I'm a bad one for that. But but just know that, you know, don't get sucked into things that, you know, aren't needing of your time right now. You don't need to respond back to people instantly the instant they message you. It's okay to put your phone away and your computer away and get other things done. But it's also okay to let that laundry sit, you know, too, while you're working on your business. So yeah, that is kind of my call, I guess. Does anybody have any questions for me? Or any comments, anything? It doesn't even have to be on the call tonight. It can be totally something that you have a question on in your business, and I can try to help you or guide you in the right direction. Nobody? All right. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, that was my call. I hope it was helpful. I know a couple of people said they wanted to hear more about like my story and how I've worked, you know, kind of maintained a business and been able to build a business living in a tiny town. And that's it, I guess. Like I said, I didn't have a warm market to dive into. So a lot of this was just figuring it out. And everybody's business is going to be different than yours, and know that, because I know mine and Rose's, like she's from New Jersey, she's from a city, like our businesses and our lives could not be more different, you know, and that just proves to show, you know, like obviously I, you know, got randomly selected with her, and it was totally a godsend that I was, because we were even pregnant in the same time frame. And so it is truly amazing, but know that your business isn't going to be exactly like somebody else's, and that's okay. You know, things that work for me aren't going to work for you, and you need to just kind of by trial and error figure that stuff out, and make it work for you and make it your own, and get creative with it. Honestly, I say I enjoy this business because it does allow me to have a creative side and to be able to bring that creativity out that I had in my old job, but also that I can pour into this business as well. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that and got something out of that at the very least. So, all right, I will let you guys go and have a great night. Thanks so much for hopping on.